Hello, it's Jeremy Abel again, local FSR, field sales representative for North Central Kansas, in Junction City again. I want to talk to you a few minutes about planters. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to hopefully look at them, or maybe you've got yours ready to go. Maybe you'll pick up a point here, but just want to cover a few things, I guess, as we get ready to plant our corn, soybeans, and milo this spring, just on some routine planter setup and make. First thing I would want to do is we're going to a field is make sure our toolbar is level. And to do that, you want to unfold your planter. You want to put it in the ground and pull ahead. And the reason you want to pull ahead is to where we bring our parallel arms up so we can make sure everything's level. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is by pulling ahead in the field. Couple things I want to talk about on the wear side. Bushings and our parallel arms. This one is extremely tight. But as we are using more and more no-till practices, putting more and more down pressure on our openers, these bushings can wear in all these parallel arm linkages and they can get worn out, and you create chatter, and that chatter creates uneven seed placement. As we come down to the opener that's actually putting our seed in the soil, I'm going to talk about our different attachments. Everybody's got different things on the front of their planter. This planter has row cleaners with depth bands. These depth bands can kind of limit the amount of dirt that you move, but yet they still are pin adjustable, and you need to make sure they're properly set. You don't want to move too much dirt and residue for multiple reasons, but you also don't want them just hanging up there as dead weight, I guess. So make sure we set these appropriately. Make sure we check them. Guess what? I grabbed this one and it's got some wiggle. It probably needs a bearing put in it before we go to the field. As we come back, probably the most vital thing on our planter are our opener discs. I popped the gauge wheel off so you can see this blade. This blade has no bevel left. It needs replaced before planting season this year. Simply done, pop scrapers off, pull it off, put it back together. But putting it back together is really important to make sure we do this properly. I grabbed a business card. There are shims that are behind this nut in here, and you can put them on either side of the blade to make sure we get our proper tree V placement, and we want it to be the distance of a business card, which this one actually is pretty close in there. And a business card is 2.5 inches roughly, and it's a good easy measuring tool. So another wear item on these planters are our scrapers. These scrapers appear to be in really good shape. So probably just a set of blades on this planter right now, and you'd be good to go. This planter also has Keaton seed firmers on there with the Mojo wire. Want to make sure this is all in good shape, not loose and floppy. You know, this is helping us make sure that we get good seed to soil contact by pushing that seed down to the bottom of that true V that we created with these good blades. As we come back, this planter has different attachments on it. I did go ahead and throw our more conventional closing wheel system on there. This has Thompson wheels. But important for here is to make sure that these cams are adjusted right to where our closing wheels are centered on the trench and closing it properly. So, how's our depth set? Most planters have some sort of T-handle to adjust our depth. This planter does as well. And the gauge wheels are our depth guide. So, proper gauge wheel maintenance is really important, both in condition and also placement against the blade. Want to make sure our gauge wheel is not worn out on the edge here. As you can see, this one is not. It's starting to get pitted from residue. But right now, I mean, it's got a good lip on it. There's good rubber behind it, and it's in good shape to run another year. However, as you can see up here, I can put my finger clear into this planter, or between the blade and the gauge wheel all the way around. I mean, my finger is still in there. That is too far apart for to run this year, I guess. We need to adjust these. And to adjust these, basically, this is a Kinze planter, so it's done with bushings. A John Deere planter has a cam on it where you loosen it up, adjust it. But those gauge wheels need to be pressing against that blade at a firm margin, I guess, on the front to keep our mud from building up, I guess, and especially as we get into these wet planting conditions. Adjusted, you know, it's easier done in the shop rather than, you know, as we're in the field wanting to plant corn in the middle of a nice sunny afternoon. As we come back up here, our meters, we want to make sure our seed discs are not wore out, make sure they're not pitted. And we also want to make sure that our chains, if it's a chain planter, is smooth and easy to move, because if you have any stiff chains, you're going to have a jerk or a jump in the meter, which is going to cause you a skip or a double. You know, so if you do have monitor rows that are going off, that's the first thing to look at, is whether your C disc is worn out or whether your chains are jumping.